Hi, this is Brett Hodson. I'm going to give you a quick overview of Sage 100 Contractor. Sage 100 Contractor is a job cost accounting system that has project management and estimating built in, along with this basic scheduling product that's like Microsoft Project. Let's go ahead and get started. What you're looking at now is the home screen that is comprised of icons that I've selected that I want to put here because they're items I use all the time. Really easy to add things to this menu. You just click to edit shortcuts and add something to the menu here. You can see we have a variety of reports here, but it can be links to files and different things like that. This next tab over, Clients and Service, this is all about receivables invoicing. Sage 100 Contractor supports AIA Progress style billing as well as T&M invoicing. For those of you that do service work order style work, there's a call-in work order dispatch type functionality built in the product also. Vendors and purchasing is all about payables. So these are your AP invoices that you need to pay your vendors and subcontractors if you have any. Purchase orders, subcontract, change orders, all those types of things. Project management is just that. So this is project management, the ability to do various types of reports, have a log for RFIs, a log for field reports, putting in projections, along with subcontracts, change orders, and so on. There's a built-in multi-state payroll that allows you to have not only multi-state, but for those of you that have unions, union payroll, certified wage reporting, e-filing for both federal as well as all 50 states, the ability to email direct deposit stubs to your employees is also built in the system. Banking and ledger, this is all about balance sheet, P&L, trial balance, reconcile your checkbook, that sort of thing. For those of you that have an inventory, you have the ability to have inventory and then issue it out to jobs, as well as for those of you that have pieces of equipment, you can charge equipment time to jobs, keep track of depreciation, as well as expenses that you have on pieces of equipment and have to show up here. There's a critical path scheduling product built in the system that comes with it, as well as there's an option for Sage Estimating Basic that's also built in. So what I'd like to do is start with showing you how you can get some information out of the system with a dashboard, and we'll turn around and put some information in. So this is a typical dashboard that you can have in Sage 100 Contractor. I can see my current cash balance. I can see, I have some overdue payables, some jobs that are underbilled, and so on. So let's say that you want to drill in the details of this Jimmy's Burrito store. So when I click on that, what you're going to see is a report that I've earned $171K, but I haven't billed anything. Let's go ahead and look at that job. So when I click on the job, I can drill right into the job record. And what you're going to see here are all the details about this particular job. Who it's for, the customer, Margaret Fuller. If we click on this right here, we can see Margaret Fuller's customer record, contact information there, as well as a series of buttons down here at the bottom. These buttons down at the bottom show details of this specific customer. So if we click on job list right here, we're going to see all the jobs that we've done for Margaret over a period of time. Quite a few, 1.6 million just about. If we wanted to pull up one of these other jobs, what do? We click on it and it'd take us right there. We can also see if we have multiple locations that we're doing business with Margaret. We just have one location. It's 825 Stadium Drive in Iowa City. On across the tabs, these are pretty self-explanatory. If we want to look at payments received by this customer, we haven't received any, so you can see those here. And likewise, if we want to look at invoices we've sent the customer, we can see those here. We're going to go ahead and exit out of here. We're going to go back to the job record. Same type of buttons are down at the bottom, except that when we click on budget, we're going to see the cost budget for this specific job. The cost budget can be typed directly into the screen. Very simple to do. Hours, material, labor, and so on. It can be pasted into the screen, or it can come from the estimating module also. Likewise, the rest of these buttons are pretty self-explanatory. If I click on subject, subcontracts, these are all the subcontracts that have been issued for this project. If you want to review one of these, you just simply click on the subcontract and it would take you directly to it. So let's exit out of here. And you'll notice we have some alerts. You can also set up alerts that are either pop-ups on the screen or these can be emailed, such as a warning report, that type of thing. So I can say I've saved some payroll to some cost codes that didn't have budget set up, for instance. So let's do the following. We're going to go ahead and go into estimating. So for those of you that want an estimating quoting tool, very handy, built right in. Let's go ahead and set up a new project. We're going to say this new project is 23,990. And we're going to create a new estimate quote for this specific customer. So we're going to call this new office for Brett. We're going to select the customer we're going to be doing that with. We're going to say let's say it's Hotel Inc. And if this is a certified job, we could say it's going to require certified wage reporting. Right now, we're just going to say this is a commercial contract job. And we could say that we're just currently bidding it out. So what you see right now is a blank spreadsheet. There's nothing in it. So there's a variety of ways of getting data into the spreadsheet to build the estimate. You can simply just pull up a parts list and say, yeah, I need to have temporary cleanup on this. So I could select cleanup, or I want to go ahead and put some tools out there. Let's say I need to put out a compressor on that project. So you could just select that. You can also, let's say that we need to do some demo and we need a container to get out there at the job site. These columns that you see right here, a couple different things. We could simply have a parts list that shows me our costs, and we can put in our takeoff quantity. So I need that out there for 60 days, and I just need one of these containers out there for the time being. You could also have a default vendor associated with these items. I don't in this case. So this is one way to go about doing a takeoff. The other thing that you could do is you can have standard or model type. So let's say that I want to use a template that I've set up. You could have a pre-built template either for a piece of construction, like a footing, or you could have, let's say that you routinely build Chipotle stores. So I have a burrito store right here. So I'm going to pull that up. And it's going to bring in all of the items I generally need when I build a burrito store. And I can simply go through and make adjustments to the items that I need. I can hide any columns that I want to get out of the way. I can also have vendors that I routinely work with go ahead pre-selected. So I can say, yeah, this project's going to run pretty quick, so we're only going to need, instead, 520 hours, probably about half that. So you can just go through and adjust the items that you need section by section. If you have any assembly set up, you can have a takeoff quantity that you put in assemblies. So in this case, I have a pad for a transformer, and I can put in the square footage here, and it'll calculate the rest of these items for me. So let's take a look and review where we're at with this. I could print this out, or you could just view this on the screen, and you can organize it by bid item, or by assembly, or by cost code, or by vendor on who you're going to buy this from. The neat thing about using this estimating product is that let's say that you win the job. To set up the overall job, you just click Export Budget. Now the budget's set up. Come down here, let's say you want to buy the job out. I want to issue POs and subcontracts. So these are all of my subcontracts. Let's go ahead and issue those. If you had any purchase orders, so these are all purchase orders that you need to set up. And then let's say that we want to go ahead and set up how we're going to build the job out. And we're going to build the job out by AIA schedule of value. So our overall build's 438 and our cost is 373. So let's go ahead and look at this job real quick. So you can see that the job has been filled out, that here's the budget, 373. We didn't have to type that in. If we come over to purchase orders, we can see purchase orders that have been queued up and ready to go. As far as these purchase orders go, they are set to a pending state, and you can have your purchasing manager review those. And if it's good to go, you can say, go ahead and email that directly out of the system by using the built-in mail client, or you can link this with Outlook. And so we've set up the job, we set up how we're going to bill it. One final thing that we can set up from the project is we could set up the schedule. So let's say that we want to go ahead and set up the schedule, and it was $23,990. And we want to pull in the takeoff we had there. So this is our project. You can see here, these are the activities. And activities can have different types. So you could have like an owner selection or inspections, that sort of thing. It can show critical path. It can show lead lag. And one of the nice things about using the scheduling product is that you can have all of your schedules. So you can see we have a few jobs underway, quite a few that are starting pretty soon, and significant, number that are ending either late this year or early next year. If I want to bring up one of those schedules, I can just click on it and bring that up. So let's go take a look at a few more job things. I want to go ahead and bring up how we're going to build this project out. As I said earlier, we're going to make this a AIA Progress Bill. So that's the project, $23,990. We haven't set up this yet. So let's go ahead and pull that in. So here's our schedule of values for the project. And we could say that this is going to be billing 1. We're going to bill it at the end of the month. And we're going to plan to bill every 30 days. The system, I don't have any updates, but you can see here, if I want to update my billing amount based on what costs I've incurred so far, you can certainly do that. As far as what the project looks like, as far as if I want to bring up how we're going to bill this out, you can see we have a variety of billing formats. For those of you that have to do the actual certified G702, G703 forms, you can buy the blanks and print on them. For most users, you can certainly just use the documents that look like a progress style bill, the facsimile as we like to call it. So I'm just going to go ahead and preview this. And so you can see the cover page. Obviously your logo would go in here, and then the worksheet, of the project. All right, so let's round this out with a few entries. Let's start with some cost entries. So processing payables, pretty darn straightforward. You input your payables here, whether it's a PO or a subcontract or just a general expense. So you can see here, I have an invoice for Justine Shop, it's against a purchase order. These are the details here. The system can check and see if you're going over budget when you put it in. It can also check the vendor to see if they have certificates of insurance and prevent you from paying them if their certificates of insurance are expired. So once an invoice is put in, you can attach a copy of the invoice and have that visible here. And it will be just shown here on the paperclip. When it comes time to pay your bills, you're probably going to print out some sort of AP aging report, sorted by job or sorted by vendor, that sort of thing. So you can see here, you can sort a variety of ways. Let's go by vendor, by job. Pretty simple report. There's the vendor, there's a job, there's vendor, there's a job, vendor, or, job, and so on. And any of these amounts, if you want to drill in the details, very straightforward. You just double click on it and it'll take you directly to that invoice. When it comes time to actually write the checks, select invoices to pay. This is where you can filter off items that are due. So we want to bring up everything that's due as of the 15th. And you'll notice that we want to sort that by job, then vendor. And then we can exclude invoices that we don't have current insurance certificates for. So all of these have been excluded. These have been included. You can go down and review these. We have 267,000 of invoices. Right now we're planning to pay 47. So it's very simple to pay the open amount, or you can partial pay something just by typing on top of the screen. And then, of course, the balance would stay open. Actually writing the checks is just a matter of selecting these items. You can also have vendors that you're not going to write a check to, that you're going to create an ACH file, transmit it to your bank. The system supports that, and you can send that out right here. Lien waivers can also be printed. There's a variety of formats here which can be customized. And you can see here's what one looks like. So we've done a revenue side, the billing. We've done a cost. Let's move on to payroll. And so for those of you that are doing payroll, you can enter in payroll time directly in the system here, or you can use the mobile app that comes along with Sage 100 Contractor, or you can use many third-party timekeeping systems to get your time in. What I'm going to do here real quickly is just simulate that we have some time that's come in the door. So let's just take this time from 4:23. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this real quick. And if you happen to be using a spreadsheet, you can actually paste data directly in the screen. So this would represent time that we've captured for today. We could adjust the job numbers, cost codes, and pay rates can of course be on the employee record, but they can also be driven by these group codes that give us regular, overtime, premium type pay. So this would represent what we've entered for today. Go through the week, create time cards, sends that time over to payroll to be processed. So we could say payroll ending date. I'm just going to kind of fudge this. So we're saying 02/15/23. You wouldn't have a payroll run that's just one day long, but we're gonna simulate that. And if we leave here and go over to actual payroll records, we can see each of the employees that had time, they're queued up and ready to go. And then when you tell the system to compute the payroll, what's going to happen is the system is going to, so these are all the people that we had in this particular payroll run. And then everybody else from previous runs, we can see pays, taxes, fringes, deductions that have been created here. So the system can do your federal and state forms, including certified wage reports. For those of you that work in Illinois, Illinois has their own version of state forms. Those can be produced directly out of the system. All right. A couple other items to wrap up. Obviously, you can print balance sheet, income statement directly out of the system. Very easy to do. One thing about reports is that they can be scheduled. So let's say that the owner of your company would like to have an income statement every month. They would like to see that on the last Thursday of every month. So you could queue that up and have that automatically generated and emailed out to your owner. So I haven't had any income or any expenses so far for the year. So you see a bunch of goose eggs here. Keep in mind that these reports are drillable, so you can drill down in them and see those details inside here. Last item I'll touch on real briefly for those of you that have equipment. You can set up equipment records in the system, and you can have Sage 100 Contractor help you keep track of how much you're using your equipment, how much it's costing you. These are all payables that were charged to a piece of equipment. You can keep track of how much the equipment's been used. So I've used this piece of equipment on all these particular projects. Whether the equipment's rented or owned, calculate depreciation and post it for you. And then there's a worksheet for you to calculate not only cost rates, but billing rates on a daily, weekly, or monthly. So with that, this is a real quick overview. It's meant to hit the high spots on the system. I certainly welcome your questions. And if you'd like to learn more, please get in touch with me.